Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney. Well, here we are on this ship. Kazuma is dead, and once again, we are a suspect for the murder. Obviously, we wouldn't have done that, so now it's up to us to find out who did. We just got done more or less investigating this room. And who should be in front of us but Inspector Hosonaga from last time? So why don't we talk with him? So what are your special orders? This time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's... Excuse me. I think that should have to be pronounced Asugi. To act as Asugi-san's bodyguard. Oh? It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asugi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that have even been a possibility? Now, I'm not sure, but these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asugi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board. From morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first class deck. Yeah. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asugi-san is dead as a result. Well, I mean, don't blame yourself too hard, I guess. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything... Why are we doing the yawning? That's twice now. Already. Good God. So if there's anything at all I can do to help you now, just say the word. Well, you can let us out of this room. Please, give us permission to investigate just that. Anywhere outside the room. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer? Of course not! We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. Ugh, that's 3 times now. Ugh. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry for my yawning. What? Seriously, that's 3 times now. I've only been recording for a few minutes. You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety if you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door. That stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in 2. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. I can already think of something we could present to him, but I don't see how... There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san, by presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence? It's just the same as when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Yeah, President Panel. Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know that. I've played an Ace Attorney game. Let's see. Evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin. Yeah, so I already have something I can work with. Yeah, because if you recall from last time, we got to see what the contents of the diary were, and in it is mentioned the grill that's above the wardrobe. So he makes mention of that, and talks about a speckled band. So let's go ahead and show them that. What's that? It's Cosmo's diary. Just before he died, Cosmo wrote something. 4 times! 4 times now! How many times am I gonna yawn in this part? Jesus Christ! Strange. In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're a very astute inspector. Well, he'd have to be. That's his job as an inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right. So if we can investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asuki-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Alright, just let move and we can leave this cabin, yeah. Alright, let's do it. Alright, yeah, let's blow this popsicle stand. Yeah, see me, just say, can you get out of the way, please? To the burly Russian seaman. Well, here we are in the passageway for the first-class cabins. Whew, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be, and this is the most luxurious accommodation. God! And the yawning, I swear. Yes, indeed. Cosmo-sama was being sent on the study tour by the government. And that's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Really? That must be awful. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose... like people in handcuffs? Oh, I imagine so. Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Cosmo's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. Please, don't give me that pitying look. Let's see, what can we look at in here? I would love to be able to cut out all my yawning as easily, but it almost always happens as I'm saying something, so it's not so easy to disguise, unlike my sneezes. Ugh. Anyways, let's have a look at this little map right here. This looks like a plan of the SS Buria. It shows each deck. Look. The Buria is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Okay, that one I can cut out. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple to know, Harusan. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan? Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than the ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. I mean, they're not they're not really floating, but you know. Do you have anything to say? Excuse me, but can I ask you something? Yo, you little stowaway murderer! That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. A good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You little third-class lady's maid. Damn, dude, alright. Oh. We seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day, Suzaru-san. I'm not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am Senior crewman Beef Stroganov. The best thing is to just avoid eye contact, I think. Tell me about the first class cabin area. Mr. Shogunov, about this first class cabin area. Here we are, finest part of Buria steamship, for very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons. That is why I am always guarding this place. Okay, I think the voice I'm giving for these guys is kind of falling apart, but whatever. It was never that good to begin with. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid Straw inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean, but Slognov is not animal. Thank you. If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin nest of Mr. Oski's currently occupied? I don't know what that is. Suzaru-san, did you understand that? It sounded like da. Oh, yeah. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without the invitation. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. I am getting I gotta do something about my yawning somehow. Anyways, tell me about last night. Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Duh. All the time, so criminals like you cannot come in or get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is sad about student boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. You're pausing. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? I don't know what that is. Suzaru-san? Did you understand that? It was clearly a no. Yeah. I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way. Ooh, why are you looking to the side there? Yeah, I said no! Sorry? I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. Yeah, no kidding. He's hiding something. I'm pretty sure that other crewman is also hiding something. I don't know what, though. Tell us about the person in the other cabin. If you please. Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asaki's? His name is Mr. Glinsby Warlot. He is a very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder, student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Warlot is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from the insignificant Far East Islands. That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Cosmo's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there. Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? That is not your business. Well, I think that's about all we're going to get out of him. Yes is enough, and I cannot say more now. Oh, it is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, alright. Bulkhead to second-class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain. Or as English say, when the pigs fly. Yes, I understand. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Definitely. Well, apparently I would have been restricted earlier. Well, how about... I feel like looking at these. That book on top of the table there is really huge. There's a pen with it, too. Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. Oh, some people can surprise you. The man has a rough exterior, but perhaps he's a big softy at heart. Who knows? Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. We have this little alarm right here. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. So what you're saying is, we should touch it. No, obviously. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it's an alarm bell. I was figuring, see, that's one of the yawns I can't cut out. And it brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh, he was about to touch the alarm. What are you doing now, Naruto-san? You mustn't touch it. But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs. Yeah, it's a fashion emergency. Though that color just does not go with you at all. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop. This ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. What's this mousetrap here for? Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what is called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder if that tastes like... What do you mean? Do you not have dairy? I don't know what Japan's, like, food situation would have been during these times. I don't know if, I guess, maybe they didn't have cows? Or any way to do dairy? I don't know. Future me... Well, future me can put, like, a note with some more information here. You can't eat it now, Naruto-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But... I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Cosmo's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Well, now, Mr. Beef Stroganoff, because that was the pun, is gone. Why don't we have a little gander into the other cabin? This is it. This is the cabin that's ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Cosmo-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Either no one's home, or they don't want to answer. No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. Oh, hello. What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. Wasn't the other guy just saying it was a man in there? Well, I mean, some men can make high-pitched screams too. Stand aside. Oh, I've already forgotten the voice for you. It's only been like a couple days since I recorded. I'm about to break the door down, Mr. Holmes. I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Holmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't. Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What pray can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Well, into the other cabin we go. No, hello. Yeah, what's that? You're supposedly an English gentleman? Yeah, okay then. Who are you? A Western gentleman? This man looks Russian to me. No, I gotta try a Russian voice. Right, I should try a Russian voice for him too. We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, you just screamed. Get out, all of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you are Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe. Yes, that's me, and you are. I'm the one, the only, the actual Sherlock Holmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I'm a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So, might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? Well, don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? About that. No, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. Oh? Oh my, did you see that, Mr. Naruto? Yes, the case just shook. Oh, so yeah, so there is something in there. Leave, now! Otherwise, I'll call the steward. So this is Cosmo's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. Yeah, how about you tell... Wait, before I look at the traveling case, what are you doing in here? Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Holmes? You need only address me as Holmes. That's what I just said, isn't it? Well, Mr. Holmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed. I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detention into service. Oh, and it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. I haven't even... You know what? Whatever. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why? The truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh, yes, please! Well then, what you are about to see may well astound you. For I'm about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time, it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone. That's right. And Mr. Holmes, I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shh! I must have complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peeling in my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What? What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Oh. And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn, you are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Oh no, how does not? I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Holmes's great deductions with my very own eyes. That was a great deduction? I read that kind of weird. Nothing can deceive Mr. Holmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? What an ineffable twaddle. Ooh, those are some choice words there. Oh, yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the colors drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both of Mr. Holmes' conclusions were right. How could you? Hold on, give me a second. Anyways, how could I possibly know such things, you wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite upon... Let me try that again. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us explore the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together.